Hello, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Will you please state your name and who you are to me?
My name's Mark Jones, and I am your father.
Awesome. And what year were you born?
I was born in 1958. What year were you born
2001.
in? 2001.
Mm-hmm.
You're the last of 6
I
children.
am.
Yes.
I am.
I'm an old man because of that.
Yep.
Yup.
And you were born in Youngstown, right?
I was. I was born in Youngstown. I grew up in Austintown.
Okay. So what was Youngstown like growing up? What was it like when you were younger, and how do you think it's changed? How has your view of it changed?
Yeah,
Etc.
so when I was a young kid, the steel mills were still open. I graduated from high school in 76. And so that's right around when the steel mills closed, probably right after the steel mills closed. But as a kid, I can remember getting up in the morning and smelling the iron ore in the air. Many cars would drive by and they had orange wheels because the iron ore just stuck to the wheels. And those were cars that were driving down to the mill and all that kind of stuff. But, along with all that soot and grime and everything, everybody had a job, everybody was working. And my mother didn't drive. It was a one income house. And my dad didn't make a lot of money, but my mom stayed home. And if she wanted to go somewhere, she would get the bus. And we would take the bus. We would do trips to downtown, and I had to get dressed up to go downtown. And so then we would take the bus and go shopping and go to like J.C. Penney's or Sears or Strauss's. Those were the big stores. And the Austintown Plaza, well, no, it was the Mahoning Plaza. That was a big deal. I don't even think the Austintown Plaza existed then. But the Mahoning Plaza, I think, had a J.C. Penney store. And that was a big chain, and that was a big store.
So downtown was more of like a city more than it is now. Like there were like compartment or department stores and
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And yeah, the big banks were downtown, that kind of stuff. We didn't really go downtown a lot, other than, like I said, we'd take the bus. But most of the time, even taking the bus, we just ended up on the west side of the city and shopping there. I didn't go to the Y or anything like that. That was, that was not a place that I went to. But it was a neat place to grow up. Yeah.
So would you say like your perception of downtown has changed to present day?
Well, sure. I mean, like now it's, well, even St. E's is down there, but, not even as many hospitals as there was when I was a kid. There was a North Side Hospital, there was St. E's, there was South Side Hospital, and then the university. And now what's down there is they're trying to revitalize the area, and the university is a big thing. And then they're revamping the downtown area. They still had the theaters down there with the big front with all the lights on it when I was a kid. And so it has changed drastically.
And you went to YSU as well.
I did. I went all the way to college, all the way to YSU.
All the way.
Right. It was a sad college experience compared
like
to
it?
like, well, I liked it, but if I had it to do over again, I would do something like
You would go
move out
away.
of the house.
Yeah.
I work with guys that they lived in a fraternity, and they've got like friends for life from college. I don't. People that I went to school with don't even know my name because my real name is Ronald Mark Jones, and so everybody that knows me from college calls me Ronald, and
Which you don't even
and
respond
I
to.
don't even answer to. And and typically I can remember driving from Austintown to YSU, going to my classes, maybe running over to the Mogg Library and studying. But when I was done with whatever I wanted to do on campus, I would go back home, watch the Gong Show, and make 2 bologna sandwiches. And then I'd go and do
your
a little
own
bit of
thing.
work and do my homework. But that was it. I hardly spent any time on campus.
Did you work in college?
Not a whole lot. I mean, my parents had a drawer full of savings bonds that was for my college education. And so I did work like in an apartment complex doing odd jobs, but I didn't have to. They never said you have to go out and work because we can't afford blah, blah, blah. It was, I was going to go to school. That was the number one priority. I remember coming home after my sophomore year or something and saying, you know what, I think I don't want to go to school. I think I'm just going to wait. And I got sent to my room, and that was the end of that
Sounds
discussion.
familiar.
Yeah. So that was that was not an option,
Oh,
and so
yeah.
that was short lived. But yeah, so that was,
You
and
said you worked in an apartment complex?
yeah,
Like fixing stuff or what?
no, cutting the grass, doing
Oh,
landscaping
okay.
stuff. We had a big tractor, and we had like 3 push mowers that were constantly falling apart, and we would trim the bushes, and sometimes we would get involved with maintenance projects, but mostly it was
Landscape.
the place that managed the apartments had like 3 different complexes. So we had a truck, we had a tractor, and push mowers, and we would drag the equipment from site to site, and that kept us busy all lawn cutting season, from spring to fall.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the winter, I didn't work any other place. So that was my limited experience. And then
Extra
I got an intern. Oh no, it wasn't an internship. I got a first job before I graduated because I got married before I graduated, and so I finished up like in night classes, and I worked down in Salem for a year at E.W. Bliss. They made big presses, and that was my first
Out of college job.
out of college job. Yeah, I worked for U.S. Steel. I did do an internship. I worked for U.S. Steel, McDonald Works, which is right below where.
McDonald?
Yeah,
What does that mean?
the town
Oh.
McDonald. The town McDonald.
Okay.
U.S. Steel had a plant at the edge of the town. Where Juan and Layla lived. And so I worked there for a year and met some really neat guys, and that was right before they closed the whole plant down. Yeah. So I learned, and I was in data processing always. So I learned how to use the things of the day, which was key punch cards and mag tape and stuff like that. Doesn't even exist
Way
anymore.
back.
Way back when.
Wow.
But it was a really good experience. It was a good internship. It lasted for a year.
So you kind of already answered this, but did you ever want to move away, or did you move away for any period of time?
I never really wanted to. I'm not a real adventurous person, so I never really wanted to, for a couple different reasons. But yep, my whole life kind of got thrown for a jolt when I was like 19. My mom died unexpectedly. And so that kind of just rocked my world for a good while. But I just kind of stayed at home and adjusted to life without mom and all that, and got through college, and then got married and started life in that direction. And once I got married, it was like taking care of the family was the number one priority. So I had to have a paycheck. So
Instability.
instability and all
Understand.
that. The only adventurous kind of fun stuff I ever did was I liked playing baseball. So I played baseball through high school, but then as soon as I got into college, I quit doing that and just made studies and all that kind of stuff the number one priority. And then got married, started having kids, and started doing the dad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes. Then your
20
future.
years later.
Yeah, and well, more like 40 years later.
Well, now.
Up till now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so now, yeah, we won't go
Woo.
what we're doing now, but that was
Yeah.
for about 40 years of my life. So
Cool.
yeah.
So you don't have to say the same event. My next question is going to be an event that was significant in your life and why. It doesn't have to be your mom, but it could be anything, good or bad. It can be your mom if you want it to be.
Well, I guess like a significant thing was it goes back to baseball. We were on the All-Star team, and I guess we were probably like 13 years old, and we had won all the games in the area, and then we were going to go to the next level of competition, and so we took a trip to Maryland. I think it was Maryland, Hagerstown, and we spent like a long weekend down there, and it was fun. It was just something different, and I got to.
In high school?
I was 13 years old,
Oh.
so it was like 7th grade, 8th grade,
Yeah.
and you just it was a neat thing. It was a real memorable thing, and
Why was it significant?
well, I don't know. It was just it was
To be able to get out of the house.
yeah, just be able to get
be
out
free
and realize that we're playing ball here in Youngstown, but wait a minute, we're better than everybody in Youngstown, and wait a minute, we're just as good as these guys in Maryland. And all of a sudden, you realize what you think is like everybody always badmouths Youngstown, says, "Oh, Youngstown, I got to go to Youngstown State," but you don't realize that it's kind of it sounds corny, but it's what you make of it, and you can get really good stuff out of the things that you're involved with, and that whole trip just kind of opened my eyes to that, I guess, maybe a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And so separately from that, how has, say from when you were my age, well, you were married at my age.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say before you were married in college,
Mm-hmm.
how has your outlook on life changed? What's been put into perspective?
Well,
What do you prioritize that you never would have thought you do?
yeah. I mean, it does go back to my mom passing, and
You were in college.
I was in college, right? And Reverend Jones was the preacher that kind of ministered to the family during that time, and that's when I got saved and began to take my beliefs in God seriously and all that. And certainly I drifted away after that time, but that was a significant thing that
Change your outlook.
changed my outlook on things, I guess.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, like growing up, like when you're in high school and college, I was like a jock, and so the big thing was the sports, and then the drinking and all that, and everybody started getting into fights and everything, and I was not a fighter, so I kind of drifted away from that crowd, and then like I said, once I got married, I never really got the urge to like I was missing out on life. It was always like, okay, this is what I'm doing, and I'll do the best I can at doing this. So, yeah.
Cool. Do you have any advice
Advice
for me
on life.
or for college students
College students in general.
in general?
No, not really. Other
Okay.
than again, that we touched on the idea that you get out of things what you put into them, and don't underestimate your value, and don't underestimate the importance of doing things that you're passionate about, as opposed to doing things that make a lot of money or doing things that someone else tells you to do. Make sure you're doing things that you're passionate about, and that you enjoy doing, and live for the moment.
Cool.
Cool.
Thank you.
Is that it?
That's all.